Hey everybody, how you doing? And first of all, I want to thank everyone for watching all of our people. Now, so I have a really special guest. I say special not just because she's running for office, in this case, Oakland City Council at large, but because this is someone who had one of the greatest restaurants in Oakland's history, in my opinion, uh, Spice Monkey. And she reminded me of when I went there. That was some moons ago, and but her place was it was its own little, how do I say it, Kanitha, slice of heaven. Yeah. And I'm sorry you had to close it. It was a heck of a contribution to Oakland culture. It was really something else. I just have to say that. Just, you didn't ask for this, but you're getting it. How you doing?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing well. Yeah, it's very sad that we had to close Spice Monkey, but just like anything else, in order to save the sister, which is Howden Market, that currently still in operation, struggling like every other small business in the city of Oakland are for multiple reasons. It's just like we have to stay in budget and balance. And the Spice Monkey was more kind of like a performing art space. So we have
Yeah.
a lot of music, live music, and a lot of comedy shows. So it's more kind of like an artist performing space and a community gathering. And it just takes a lot of resource to operate it, and it's very complex. And after 14 years, I decided that it's time to kind of close that in order to save the other business, or else we wouldn't have any our operation cost would be way too high. Yeah.
Let me ask a dumb question. That was during that was because of the pandemic, really, right? Or
Correct,
was it?
correct. We closed it down at the end of 2021, and the reason why, because with the policy change of mask on, mask off, occupancy reduced, and since we are known for live comedies and live music, it's like it takes a lot of people to be in there, and comedian would look funny with masks, but how are we going to serve food and drink with like usually we do like 300 covered versus the 25. The expense will be
Yeah.
just not going to make any sense.
You know,
Yeah.
going back to that, I remember I wrote, um, I thought that what Libby should have done was had a fund to allow business owners like yourself to buy air conditioning, filter. They were coming out with the COVID-19 filtering units. The city could buy
Yeah.
those and install them, right? I'm thinking, why do we
Yes.
have to harm businesses? Just filter out the air that's COVID, and have the Lysol mixed in there, and that'll give them a fighting chance. I mean, it may not be perfect. If you want to wear a mask, fine, but at least for people who want to eat comfortably, and entrepreneurs
Hmm.
like yourself. Instead, Libby had this idea of the task force. I thought, oh, that's not going to help anybody. Anyway, enough of me on that. I kind of I went outside my rule, but I'm taking liberties because your place was so legendary, and you're so legendary. It has such a legendary place in Oakland's history that to do all of that, eventually to run for Oakland City Council at large.
Yeah, for multiple reason. I decided to run back in March, and the reason why it was just due out of frustration that I felt like the 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 political house or the city hall, or the people who's in charge should have the priority a little bit with more of a sense and urgency to for
Yeah.
the people. And after and multiple robbery, car crashing into Howden Market, it took 11 months to get a police report out of the DA's office, and when you call, it takes 8 hours the next day before the cop shows up. Or the business world, everyone don't even report anymore because they don't have insurance. Like myself, our insurance went from 38 to 15,000 with no coverage. So
Ooh.
there's just so much craziness on, and all of us are just kind of like fed up with the whole crime situation. But I was normalizing things.
Excuse me. $3,800 to $15,000.
Yes, that's how much we are paying in the interim. With all the crime wave that was happening, it falls a lot under the business owner and anyone who have to insure anything, cars, house, anything, and a lot of the business people, if they own commercial buildings and stuff, they can't get insurance also, because it's just the hostility of Oakland and the perception on how things are going, it is so bad. And for being a business owner that survived so many years during the recession in 2008 and a small one in 12, and then the riot, and then the construction, I don't know if you remember that, all this the skyrise went up all the same time, and
Yep.
no one could stay in business because every street was being jackhammered, right?
Yeah.
It's like these are the kind of thing that we start to just kind of, but right now more than ever, crime has got so brazen. It's like I have restaurant for 14 years, and the car bip is always around, but it's more kind of like, kids on their bicycle in the dark and bipping car at night, because then not like stolen cars and go down the street and just breaks every single one like a sport, some kind of sport event.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. It's got slowed down a little bit, but the crime is still there. I mean, I got my friend who have a tattoo shop. I don't know if you remember Temple Tattoo just down the street.
Yeah, I sure do. Yeah. Oh,
they're
yeah.
a legend. They're leaving. They
Yeah.
can't afford it anymore. They just got broken into a couple of weeks. I think last week, and they stole all their tattoo machine. Like, it's just crazy. Like stuff like that. And so everybody is closing shop. I mean, nobody can survive anymore in downtown with between the perception of crime and the lawlessness and the rising of the operation expense. Now we're losing all the business, which is feed into the general fund, which create job and keeping the street from being blight. And what really broke my heart is when my dad died in July, and I can't make a police report then too, right? I mean, it's just the lack of essential service we have in Oakland we have to change. We have to turn that around, So, you can't make police report when you get jumped or mugged, or you can't make police report when your car just got bip or run into you. It's just like the lack of sense of priorities. It just got to me, and I decided to run in March. And I'm like, enough is enough.
I'm deeply saddened to learning the passing of your father, and it's good that I'm sorry you had to go through. It's good that you, I guess it's fair to say you're running in his honor, right?
Yes. I am. It's a attribute, I guess, to him, because my father fought so hard for human right, and he's the guy who founded human right in my country, and my mom worked on reproductive right and women's right. For that, they believe they were both.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yes. I share the information on my website where
Right.
how I got to the America is on a piece of paper that, I'm under humanitarian protection. Yes. So thank you to United States for protecting me and keeping my parents continue to do their work.
Is that for the rest of your life?
What is it?
Humanitarian for the rest of your life?
Well, I joined the Air Force, and when I was in my 20, and I became a U.S. citizen, because I guess in the United States, if they give you a gun, they will give you a citizenship also.
Right. And you were in the Air Force?
Yes, 9 years, U.S. Reserve Air Force.
You flying jets?
No, I help people relocate. So I was with the 349 MSS at Travis, and we relocate everyone all around the world and get them ready for their mission and their families and all of that. So I'm very good with paperwork and studying finance, so I'm good with number.
Which is great for business, right?
Yes, and it would be great for Oakland. We need to make sure that we'll stay very creative and create jobs, create tax, create service. That's what I'm in. I'm all about service. in a business that's so tough, which is a restaurant and a grocery store, you have to pay attention to everybody's needs,
Yeah.
and
Hey,
in the
curious.
restaurant. Hmm?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, I always make a joke in my campaign trail. I'll say why you should vote for a chef, because I know how to cook chicken in so many different ways, and there's no waste, right? You gotta like turn every piece of the chicken into something delicious and be able to create revenue out of it.
Yeah, I like that. You're absolutely right. That's on point. You're absolutely right. So I'm curious, when was the aha moment? What happened where you said, "Dang it, that does it. I'm running for Oakland City Council at large."
My dad. My
Oh
dad
wow.
always wanted me to do politics. He said, "Politic, it's very, it could really get to you because when people have power and money, they can really lost their way. But if you know how to have being able to have your guiding heart, and you have compassion, and you're a good person, you should do politics because it's a way that you can really impact people in a very different way." It's so he always done politics all his life. He helped created a human right that's still existing today. Matoury, you can Google him. The Peace Accord Save Our Family. And this is a way of me saying, when I was younger, arguing with him why I never wanted to go into politics, because he told me that I would be even better than him, because he said, put a woman in charge, especially a pregnant woman, and we'll have no war and she'll save every life. and he's like, "You're like me," because he loves women. So he married 5 times. And I'm just like, certain thing, you like kind of disagree with your father. And this is one of them. And he's like, "I would never be like you. I would never do politics." And he's like, "Well, Kanitha, you can really be good at this and you can save people." Yeah.
That's the funniest
So
thing.
yeah, he's a hoot. He would be so proud of me if he's alive.
Yeah, and
It would be like,
he's proud of you now. I mean, he is a lot in a way, So he's smiling on you. He really is.
yeah. Yeah, well, I never wanted to do politics because of what happened to my mother. Like, she was kidnapped when I was 17 and I was here. They were both there and she never come home. I don't know if she's dead or alive. So I hated politics. I blame that because there
Wait,
were
to
big
this
politics.
day, you don't know whether your mother is dead or alive to this day.
Nope, we don't know where Chapun Ratana is. It's crazy. Yeah. So I said never in politics
We
because
mother.
it's
We gotta
mm-hmm.
find your mother some kind of way. That should not. I'm sorry, because I'm here. My mom here. So that's excuse me. Before I get
Mm-hmm.
off track, let me ask you, what if you won? What would your first action be as council member?
I would advocate for the audit situation because we have to understand our debt and liability and our revenue in order to operate, right? And the city of Oakland should be operate like a business because
Hmm.
we should provide service. That's why people want to visit, want to live, and want to invest in Oakland. Or if we don't have our service, why would people want to visit? If they're not going to want to visit if they get robbed along the way in and out,
Yeah.
or while the stop at the have a meal and they're getting all their suitcase stolen, right? This is like the thing that we don't want because that is so damaging to the perception and their feeling and how they feel. And I don't believe that the people are running, the politicians understand that. They don't understand. Everyone have good heart and everyone wants to do the best, and everyone run for office for their passion or whatever that could be, housing or there's so many things like your industrial infrastructures, or there's so many different things that everyone's running for. For me, advocate for audit for sure, so we can understand where all the monies are going or where the money's coming from. And then once we understand that, we can really address some of the situation. And then the second thing, it will be put in some kind of controller in order to Like for example, like I can't believe we don't have that. And it's for me, in order to sit here and have an interview with you and have a store still running 7 days a week
Hmm.
open, or the restaurant, when I was able to bring my staff from 8 people to 40 people in a full throttle with both place, you have to
Wow.
have a system, and you have to really understand, and you have to have some kind of controlling, right? Because the way business is like, if you look at, you go to the bathroom and you turn on the faucet and the waters comes through, right? And those are revenue, right? And
Yeah.
then you got a sink, and then you got a drain, so those are called expense, right? But
Yeah.
then there's always, you want to tighten
Wait,
expense.
wait. Time out. Do you realize you just described the system dynamics model? Okay, so yeah, seriously, because the tub is system dynamics is a modeling paradigm created by J. Forrester in '56. The tub is a stock. Stock is that something that accumulates or not, right? Or it could be a tub, or it could be net operating income, right? Because okay, so you have revenue, which causes the increase, expense, which causes the decrease. Anyway, I just
Correct.
want to, yeah,
Yes. I'm just
that means you think systemically. I like that.
Yes,
I
yes.
love it.
I studied finance at San Francisco State University. So yeah, and right now we need the sink or the tub have a lot of hole, right? So we need to, so
Hmm.
every time you have an income and the expense is large or small, you got to control those in order to have your surplus. But if you have all
Right.
these hole, it's gonna just all seeping through. So you got to really understand those, and those are what I would be advocating for, in order to making sure that we fund something called essential, right? And
Right.
we have to
Right.
understand that certain department we must have, because we have to have it, is essential. And certain department, like maybe we don't need it as much. Maybe we can consolidate, we can restructure, we can change a job description, whatever that looks like. And then certain department bring in revenue. And
Right.
how do we staff those correctly, or how do we get creative to bring in more revenue, right? So those are all the different things we need to understand in order to have a healthy city. Then we can do a lot of things, like save that house or
Yep.
fund more stuff. Because we have a livable city. We're not
Yeah.
all like, oh my God, the house on fire. Or what do I say first? I don't know.
Everyone has an idea for fixing the budget, but I want to talk, rather than talking about that, I want to talk more about business. You like your business. And my question to you is, when you were going through the problems during the pandemic, did the city ever reach out to you with a program or idea? Or they check in with you at all?
No, no. This is something that I would really would like to implement when I'm getting elected. That I would talk to every single district council to make sure
Hmm.
that they're really reaching out to their merchant and their business, because those guys would, keeping all the tax dollars and jobs in the street from being blight. No, they didn't reach out. I mean, I even applied for the grant for the facade because I have a car drive inside, and I'm 3 years later on. If you know any lawyer wants to pick up the case, we're still open. It's crazy.
Wow. That's something
Yeah.
else. That's what I'm saying. And Libby wasn't listening. All right. I mean, I'm not doing a Libby Shang thing. As far as I'm concerned, they're both at fault. But it has to start with Libby, because Libby didn't go out until the close of the year of 2022. So, and all the problems that Oaklanders were facing were already fully baked by then because of the pandemic. Okay. So, and then Shang could have come in and cleaned it up, but she didn't do it. She did. She worked. She started on first, Larone, and you might be. I don't know where you stand in terms of recall, but I mean, if you can, so you want to hate it, where do you stand, by the way? Just
Oh, for the recall? Well, I mean, this is a very hot topic. Beside, I think there's three things that's really hot, which is recall, the coal, and rank choice. Everybody asks that question, right? For me, I think the recall is it's costly to the tax dollar, which I don't like, because of course, as someone who's understand money and where all the money is coming from, it was from the people,
sure.
right? The city of Oakland don't have money beside if they don't tax people or create fees. the city is just a house, right? And it consists of body that was elected or employed to execute an order or service that voted by the people itself, right? But so for me, I felt that it's very complicated in terms of why these two are on the ballot. And for me, who's someone who's running, who's trying to run for a different seat, I said I'm going to vote. What's great about it is that I would like to work with anyone who's got elected or get reelected or still stay there, right? That's not, as a council, I need to be as nonpartisan as much as possible. I have publicly said, yes, I'm for the recall, and thank God for the democracy. There is, we have this certain thing, and what my parents fought for Cambodian people, which is the freedom of speech,
right,
and the freedom to be able to vote. And but don't let my opinion influence you, because I'm just a very frustrated business person who really been losing so much to just the nonsense of priority that's not being prioritized correctly.
Yeah, it should be against the law that the Spice Monkey closed. I mean, that the city should have done everything in its power, because businesses like yours and folks, I hope you're able to reopen it at some point. Maybe if you win, maybe it makes it easier. I don't know, but my point is that your place was a treasure. And people talk to me as, Zennie, have you been to the Spice Monkey yet? Zennie, you got to go to the Spice Monkey. It feels like Zennie. I'm taking you to the Spice Monkey, which is how we met, right? And I mean, I just, it boggles the mind that people don't get how important the small, independent, local businesses are to our culture. That's Oakland's soul.
Correct. Oakland is built for the small business. It's what built Oakland. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that politicians are very busy, whatever they're working on. Like myself, I'm not even elected yet, and I've been so busy. And definitely have a lot of respect for all of the politicians who, put themselves in service, and a lot of respect for that. And I cater to a lot of politicians because of the Spice Monkey and its position and where it's at. So I know everyone, right? From
have you been stealing their secrets?
I'm a consent builder. I like to collaborate. I feel bad. I think time was crazy during COVID. I know Libby really well, actually.
She's my god sister.
Yeah, she's great. Her last party was Hang the Hat. The campaign before the COVID was at Spice Monkey,
right?
And I think that during that time is very confusing. Things was just like people mask on, mask off. I remember
it was chaotic. Yeah,
I called my father. I said, "Oh my God, what do I do?" And he's like, and I said, "You lived through civil wars and stuff." Like, he said, "Okay, Kanitha, whatever the government's ordering, you follow the law." And I said, "Well, but we're essential, and I still have all these bills to pay. Like, nobody's like, oh, Kanitha, we'll give you a break. No, don't pay any bill, right? Don't pay."
Yeah.
And you're like, "No, everything's still coming."
It's like, you're right. And then it's like, hey, sign up for a PPP loan. And then it's that
lasts 2 weeks. That's it.
And then, by the way, you have to pay it back. I'm thinking, oh yeah, we'll sign up for it, but you're gonna like forgive it, right? And then they dragged our feet. I was in a class action lawsuit about that sort of thing. Oh, it's awesome. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
The second one is the SBA loan, which is going to be imploded in I forgot how many years, but everyone's just paying the simple interest while they're borrowing more to stay in business.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm thinking, are these people thinking? They don't ask us as entrepreneurs, hey, is this going to help you? I would say, well, no, like a grant would be better, don't you think?
Correct.
Right.
And the amounts of paperwork that you have, fill out, it's the same thing. Like when I sit and listen to, how you can get a house and for the unhoused, the paperwork alone and all the complexity. And then you have to, have your original birth certificate, a phone number. Like everyone's living on the streets are already so stressful. How are you going to be able to navigate such thing? So these are the kind of things that we really need to look at as society and as political position or elected individual to say, well, how do I streamline to make life more simple? Because not everyone like waking up and said, God, who should I elect it for? Which policy should I make today? And, everything sounds so good. And everybody say, yes, yes, yes. But then you're like, well, wait a minute. Where's all the funness going? I was one of those
which
people.
makes a lot of sense. Right.
Yes.
Hey, from your place as a business owner, particularly, you see the homeless situation, and how would you tackle it as at large?
Well, for someone who's a mother of 2 teenage daughters and someone who live and work in downtown and seeing, people are sleeping on the street, having to move them in order to open the shops, and my staff, myself, having to deal with the mentally ill every day, coming in. It's just, when you go to the Howden market now, our door is closed because we cannot take any more mental stress, and the staff already shorthanded. So that we can't, when people come in and take whatever they want, they just like, yay, I'm taking this. It's under $9.50. You can't do anything to me. Bye, or take their backpack and fill it up. It's just becoming really.
What does that feel like to go through that?
For me, who follow the laws, I feel like we should definitely enforce law for the law-abiding citizen. It's just kind of getting out of hand a little bit. Very violated, not sure how to, just like feel kind of helpless, and then having to put the staff through it too. And I mean that, the staff just seeing it, and thank God I have staff that's been with me 10 plus year. The same staff, and we're like family, and everybody's just in it together in that process. But yes, violated. It's like when your car got bipped and you not being able to do anything, or someone ransacked your house. And
I remember when that happened to me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mine was bipped. That was in front of the alley. November 17th of 2019. And actually it was in front of Miss Saigon.
Oh, yeah.
Andy, right? I was going to go to his place and, get my favorite dish, and but I went to the because I just I came back to go to the Raiders game, all that, and someone smashed the side window of the car, and I thought, why? I said there was nothing in there to take, and to this day I think about it, and it makes me angry all over again.
Yeah.
Imagine people who've had that happen again and again, right? So like twice is enough, or 3 times is worse. But for this to allow all this to go on, what do we do?
Yeah, well, what we would do, we're talking about the homeless, but or unhoused. We'll
unhoused, right?
That, and then we'll go to the unhoused. I mean, we definitely need to revisit the system, because as taxpayer, we pay a lot into the system to save the homeless or the unhoused. And I think the last time I checked was anywhere between 50 or 60,000 per person. For the tax dollar wise, I mean, at this point, you just give it to the person. They probably will be housed, right? So we need to look at the system. Where is it need some kind of revisit or change the system? Because when it's not working, and we're seeing more than ever, we there's so many people are now becoming homeless, and the stressful and the expensive of living in the Bay Area got so out of control. And that's another thing. I mean, when I had the restaurant, so many of my staff they can't afford to live in Oakland. They have to drive from Vallejo, Richmond,
long drives.
Yes, all these guys, or they all jam into one apartment with like 4 or 5 people, and like they're all living, just because it's just so costly. And then, if you're in schools and different things like that, you're so we need to definitely address all this situation, because everyone live in so much stress.
Yes.
And the fact that we live in America, where there's, healthcare is not universal and free for everyone, or education. So these are something that we need to address, but that's at the federal level. But for the local level, we definitely need to revisit why some of the system is not working, because we have more than ever, we having a lot of people living on the street, and it's heartbreaking for me. So triage in the
Were they
system.
living on the street and yet working for you at the same time?
Well, I don't know. Some of them might. I mean, I
Wow.
have a huge
Wow.
staff. Back in
Yeah.
the day when it was full, I have 4 manager with lots of moving and lots of part time. But I know some of them, like personally, they are struggling. I mean, people are, we don't have, like, there's certain thing that is prioritized in America that we should be addressing a little bit better in terms of, like, let people just feel a little more secured and a little more settled, Yeah. Like just the basic. I think education and health, that's like something that we should really address here. And hopefully one day, now that we're going to have a woman president, she's going to
Fingers
prioritize.
crossed.
Yeah, I know. My dad would have loved it to see this moment.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time. It really is. I think she's going to win big too. Hey, so regarding the police situation,
Mhm.
do you believe that more police will solve the problem? If so, how do we pay for the extra police?
So I sat with both of the police, the
Mhm.
current one, and then the one that's running. He's my opponent, Chief Armstrong and
Yeah,
Chief
Laurent.
Mitchell. Like both of them, I have sat with. One is representing the business community, and we demand for more police present in the D3, which is pretty much the business corridor. I told him that, if he explained to me that he's new on the job. There's a lot of complexity why there's just not enough police. There's only 35 police in any given hour for the whole entire city of Oakland. And of course, that's why now it makes sense why they can't show up till the next day to take a report, right? And there's a lot of different bosses inside there that are telling them order that's very confusing. In a simple way. Like you got the federal oversight, you got the civilian oversight, you got the mayor, you got the council, and you got the attorney, the district attorney. So they feel like they don't have the support. It's like you have many chefs and tell you different thing, and you're trying to, like, okay, which one should I cook first, the salad or the soup, or like, so they're like, at this point, if we do our job, we might get suspended, and we can't be suspended because we have family, right? And then if we don't do our job, we don't have anything happen to us, right? I mean, like at this point, we're just gonna show up and maybe look at Facebook on our phone. I don't know, like. It's like, if you go to the city hall and pull a permit to build a garage and addition, you wait 6 months and forever. Like me, I built the store. It took me 2.5 years to get a permit and stamp before I can sell an apple. But you can put a tent at the Lake Merritt, with no permit. So it's almost like, okay, where is it going here? I don't know. I feel bad for everyone. It seems like they're all confused. So
you're right. It is. It's like, oh, it is a confusing situation for many people. Hey, so
yeah. Oh, can I tell you something funny? So when the police show up,
you better.
Got broken into, right? And he told me, there's like certain thing that could chase, a certain thing that could not, and there's really the chase policy is kind of, again, what I found out is very confusing, right? And then he said, hey, listen, at this point, we don't have a jail. If we book someone, we have to take 2 people to drive them to Santa Rita, and then we're gonna let them out anyway, right? Because if they still like under 950, like, what are we gonna do with them? Like, we're gonna let them out, and then we're 2 people short. It's gonna take us all day, and then they're just gonna be like catch and release. So there's like,
I didn't realize. Yeah, all right. The revolving door, literally. Just described. Yeah.
And they told me if I don't feel safe, then I can, if we deal with cash and stuff, like, get a weapon and be like self-protection. I mean, they're going to question me as much as someone who came in and robbed the same way. And, they're going to release me too. So I'm just like, wow. I was like, well, I've been in the Air Force. I know how to shoot a gun, but I didn't sign up for that. So it's like, not being a business owner, you got to do everything. You got to get strapped. You got to, like, Do your own thing. Like you talk to all my my Yemen brother, all the Yemen community who like invest so much in this the corner stores and groceries, and
Yeah.
they're all now just like, oh my God, where's our protection? It's
Yeah.
just getting out of control. Yeah, so sorry, I digress there, but I believe that we could beside I heard the hiring process, the
Mhm.
retaining process for Oakland police is very hard right now because
Yeah.
they're not the most favorable armed force right now but after everything that's happening. So we definitely need to address that because we do need some kind of, for me, it's
Yeah.
like if you don't have laws and orders, there's just chaos, right? So you got to have some kind of like clear border lines. So then, people that from out of town are not like, oh, well, I can just visit and rob and leave and I'm going to be okay. Or just dump a bunch of garbage and take off and
Yeah.
going to be okay too. We're known for, what's that joke? Crime tourists
Like,
now?
welcome to Oakland. Let us steal your stuff, right? Kind of feeling. Hey, come on in. The water's fine. Would you like a glass of water?
It's open season.
Take my vase. It's got thousands. Jeez Louise. Unbelievable stuff.
It's open season.
Oh my God. Hey, so what kind of mayor, what kind of assistant would you be looking for if you got the job?
No, I want someone who understand the political landscape very well. Someone who are passionate about getting the city of Oakland right,
Mm-hmm.
and for sure, someone who have the quality set that I don't have. Which is very important in order to have a good effective team. You have to have all the different type, so those
Right.
are the things that I'm looking for in terms of if I get elected. I'm going to have people from every single sector that volunteer and some's on the staff in order to kind of advise me into something that that I have never done before, but
Right.
I do have unique skill set and a lot of practical common sense that I can pull people together. And the fact that I have a business for 17 years in the same corner, I know everyone and everyone. Like I could be calling you, Zennie. You are
Yeah.
so informative. You
Thank you.
understand the city of Oakland so well. You have so
Aw.
much history. And I would be calling you and said, hey, what have done right and what have done wrong and how could we do better? Right. So these are
Yeah.
the kind of things that we want to look at in terms of so we can come together. I myself cannot simply fix all the problems the city of Oakland have, but together we can. All of us. And there's so many good people in the city of Oakland. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
city.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But I just want to write. See, what's the website URL, web address?
Oh,
Or
KanithaForOakland.com.
gotcha. That's every time. Yeah. Kanitha. What is Kanitha? What is that? Well, I got it written down, but what does it mean? People have meanings, or they're like name is the name of a Greek philosopher who lived from 445 to 495 BC and fought the Trojan Wars. So where'd your name come from? What is it?
Oh, it's Sanskrit. It's Sanskrit. So people in like India and Thailand have a Kanitha name. It's called Kanitha in Khmer. And it's so from what I understand is God angel. And then if you look it up, it's the iris of the people of your eyes, I believe. Yeah. I think I pronounced that right. But yeah, when I was
telling me are the people.
Yes. Yeah,
so
the pupil, like the middle of your eyes.
Wow, interesting. Well, Kanitha, come back. And in fact, I got an idea regarding your restaurant. We could put you on our network, put a camera there. You could show people what the restaurant looks like. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oakland Soul. You know what I mean? It's Oakland Soul. Folks, this lady is legend. So for those of you who may be angry and saying, hey, Zennie, you're too nice, you don't know my show. But my point is, I'm telling you, Kanitha is part of Oakland lore. Her place, I don't know over 14 years, what crazy things happen. I'll bet you there are at least 2 marriages out of your. I'll bet that. You brought people together in a way like few others have in our history of our city. I just want to take this time to thank you for doing that.
Oh, thank you. It has been my pleasure to be able to serve. I spent so many years serving the city of Oakland people through food, love, music, and a lot of laughter. It was such a, I'm so grateful and blessed. And now I've been campaigning throughout the city of Oakland. I meet so many different people with all kinds of very beautiful, everybody have different need. And I'm hoping to be elected because I'm very creative and I would like to, just turn our city around. It's a boat with a lot of hole. We need to plug them up and pick them back up and then sell them the right direction. Yeah. And with that is with the right people on deck, we can do it. And Oakland is beautiful. And you're part of Oakland history. And thank you for doing all these. And always bringing a very informative information to the audience. Yes.
Oh, that makes my day. Thank you so much. Like I said, yeah, I'll folks check her out and subscribe to Zennie62 on YouTube. And hey, right behind her, we have another legendary figure, Marcy Hodge, who's running District 7. So she's going to be coming on the top of the hour. See, I got all the great people lined up. Kanitha, yourself, Marcy. I got a murderer's row.
I love it. Well, I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for everything, Zennie, and you be well. And same with your mother. Please enjoy your mother. Every day is special.
I love my mother. She's my heart. Thank you. Cry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing your experience when she was in the hospital and how you're just kind of like you took us to that journey and So.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Victor says Kanitha will be great. There you go. Hey, he's on my NFL videos, on tweets, everywhere. Victor.
Well, thank you so much. You have a beautiful day, and thanks for having me.
Hey, Kanitha, you don't have to move a muscle. I got this, folks. That ends this broadcast. Thank you for viewing again. 9 minutes, Marcy.
Thank you. Bye, Zennie.